All right, let's talk about smart lighting. We're going to demystify the whole thing today because, it's so much more than just a cool gadget. It's really about making your space work for you. We'll break down how it all connects, what you actually need to get started, and this is a big one, the common mistakes to avoid so you can get it right the first time. Let's dive in.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Imagine walking into a room and the lights just turn on, or they dim down perfectly for movie night, all on their own. What if your lighting could actually anticipate what you need before you even reach for a switch? Well, that's the big idea we're exploring today.
When you really boil it all down, smart lighting delivers on three huge things. First, there's comfort. I'm talking about creating the absolute perfect vibe for any moment. Then, you've got real savings because you're using energy way more intelligently. And finally, you get total control over one of the most important elements in your home or office.
So what even is smart lighting? Well, it's way more than just a fancy light bulb you can control with your phone. It's a whole ecosystem. You've got the lights themselves, you've got sensors that are kind of like the eyes and ears, and you've got a central controller that acts as the brain. They all talk to each other based on rules you create, all powered by this thing called the Internet of Things, which is really just a fancy way of saying everyday objects are connected to the web to make them smarter. Okay, so to really get how this system actually works, we need to look at the pieces of the puzzle. There are basically 4 fundamental building blocks that make any smart lighting setup tick.
Let's break these 4 parts down. So it all starts with the hardware. That's the smart bulbs or the light fixtures themselves. Next up, you have the sensors, which are the eyes and ears of the whole system, picking up things like movement or how much daylight there is. Third is the controller or the hub. Think of this as the traffic cop that directs all the communication. And finally, the app on your phone. That's your command center. It's where you create all the rules and bring the whole thing to life.
So, the smart part of smart lighting, it isn't really in the light bulb. Nope. It's in that magical connection between the sensors, what the system sees, and the rules that you create. This is what turns a simple light into something that truly responds to your life.
Just think of sensors as the inputs for your system's brain. They're out there detecting what's happening in the real world. Is someone moving? Is a door opening? Is the sun shining? And they feed all that information back to the controller, just waiting for instructions on what to do next.
Okay, this is a really, really important distinction that a lot of people get wrong. A motion sensor on the left, that's perfect for a hallway. It detects you walking past. But in an office or a study where you might be sitting still for a while, you need an occupancy sensor. It's much more sensitive and can detect that you're still there, even if you're just typing. That way, the lights don't frustratingly shut off on you while you're in the middle of working.
Now here's another brilliant use for a sensor. It's called daylight harvesting. Basically, you have a sensor near a window that measures how much natural light is coming in. As it gets brighter outside, the system automatically dims the indoor lights. The goal is to keep the light level on your desk perfectly consistent. It saves a ton of energy, and honestly, the best part is you'll probably never even notice it's happening.
Oh, and we can't forget door sensors. These things are so simple but so incredibly reliable for specific jobs. Just imagine opening your closet or a pantry, and the light just instantly and smoothly fades on. It feels super premium, and it's perfect for those little spaces you're in and out of all the time.
Okay, so the sensors are gathering all this information. Now what? Well, that's where the real brain of the operation comes in, automation rules. The logic is usually super simple. It's called if this, then that. It's a really powerful way to tell your lights exactly how you want them to behave under different circumstances.
Let's walk through a classic example. You could create a rule that says something like this. If the motion sensor in the hallway detects movement, and, this is the important part, the time is after 10 p.m., then turn on the hallway light to a really dim, warm glow, like maybe just 20% brightness. It's just perfect for that late-night trip to the kitchen. Gives you enough light to see without completely blinding you.
Okay, we've covered the components and the logic. Now let's get to the fun part and see how this all comes together in the real world with a few really practical examples.
So take the bedroom. Instead of messing with a bunch of different switches, you can set up scenes. With just one tap, you can activate your relax scene for a nice, dim, warm light. Ready to pick up a book? Tap the reading scene for brighter, clearer light. And that night pathway scene can be triggered automatically by a motion sensor, giving you just enough soft light to guide you without waking anybody else up.
And in an office, the benefits are all about efficiency and just making the space better to work in. Use those occupancy sensors we talk about to make sure the lights don't shut off in the middle of an important meeting. and use daylight harvesting to keep the workspace perfectly lit all day long while seriously cutting down on the electricity bill. It's a win-win.
When you take it outdoors, automation is a total game changer. You can go way beyond a simple timer. A lot of these systems have what's called an astronomical clock. It literally knows the exact time the sun sets and rises in your specific location, and it adjusts your landscape lighting automatically every single day of the year. You set it once and you are done.
Now, before you get all excited and run out to buy a bunch of smart bulbs, we need to talk about what can go wrong. A little bit of planning here will save you a massive headache down the road. So let's cover the 4 most common mistakes people make when they're getting started.
All right, let's walk through these. First up, trying to juggle a dozen different apps from a dozen different brands. It's a recipe for frustration, trust me. Second, not thinking through your home in logical zones, which just makes everything confusing to control. Third, this one's a bit technical, but it's critical, using incompatible hardware, like a light and a dimmer that don't play nice together. That's what causes that awful flickering. And finally, just plain bad sensor placement, like putting one right next to an AC vent where the moving air is going to set it off all the time.
So, the most important takeaway is this. While the results can absolutely feel like magic, a successful smart lighting system is born from really thoughtful planning. Thinking about your zones, your routines, and the right components before you start buying stuff is the absolute key to success.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Tonight, take a look around your own space. Is your lighting just a utility? Is it just there? Or is it actively working for you, making your life more comfortable, more efficient, and just plain more enjoyable? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining us.